Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to the show. And tonight, I'm honoured. I'm honoured that, we always tell people to come to the camp, And a lot of people might not do. They'll say nasty things and that. But, tonight we got Freedom Dad on, who actually came to the camp and stayed for more than a week.
Yep.
It's a lot more than I can say about a lot of people. But let's get him on and introduce himself. Freedom Dad, how are you, man?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. Thank you so much for having me on. I'm honoured. So I'm always honoured to have anything to do with the Bath PDS camp, and it was an absolute pleasure. So it was, and I needed it, mate. Believe it or not, as you know, some of the work I do in Northern Ireland, it's been non-stop over the summer, and I really needed it. So I did, and the guys were. It was just amazing, It's I don't think I've laughed as much, and like I say, relaxed, and it is. I'm not a veteran, but I needed it, So I can't imagine what it would do for other guys who have been through, battle zones and all the rest of it. It's the place where these guys, the guys with this common goals and common demons, as we should say, can come together and help each other out. Because I think I've always believed that the best medicine for mental health is people that's been through it, not somebody who's went through college and hasn't experienced life really. The best people to help each other out that suffers from this kind of thing is people who actually suffer from it. Because everybody's at different stages of recovery and getting better. And I think they pass it down. That's what I think, as each person gets better. That's what I do. I went through because of the troubles and grief, complex PTSD, not on the same level as some of the guys that go to the camp, but I do understand it to a certain degree. And, my experience is, people would rather listen to my experience, what I went through, how I dealt with it, how I got over it, than sitting down and speaking about everything and going through everything, that why you're like this. Because sometimes I tried it, and you left these psychologists and psychiatrists a lot worse than you went in, because you're reliving it. So amazing job that the guys are doing, and I'm here to support them 110%.
Oh, thank you. Obviously, I was one of the first people at the camp, me, FD, and Steve knows this, to see Joe and Dion wanted to open up the farm to veterans and supporters and that. And I looked after my mum for 5 years, and she had advanced Alzheimer's, so not an easy task. And the only place I had any respite was that camp. I didn't go anywhere else. I did go to Northern Ireland once for a few days, but everywhere else was around the camp. I couldn't go anywhere else. It had to be the camp. So Joe and Dion supported me all the way up to when my mum died. I was still going to the camp, and to keep my sanity, that camp was like a major place for me. Joe knew what it was like. I'd get to camp. I wouldn't be on my phone too much. I'd just be relaxing. You know what I mean? Not having to wake up to a busy routine of health service, carers coming round, and the house always full of somebody. And that camp was my getaway. And it's sort of like I've seen now how we can support other people, how we can support veterans.
Yeah, it's where it's located as well, John. When you get up in the morning and you're surrounded by the countryside, and there's quite a lot of history. Stevie will cover the history side of it and where it's actually located. There's a lot of history and a lot you can learn from it. But it's just getting up in the morning, no matter if it's sunny, whether it's frosty. It's just a beautiful sight to see. You know what I mean? And that alone sets the mood for the day. Rather than being in the concrete cities that we're used to, and like I say, it is the scenery, it's the setting, it's the animals, the ducks, the chickens. It's just perfect. You know what I mean? It is an amazing place, without a doubt, mate.
Listen, I'm not going to forget our Steve there's gone a bit up. Well, I should have. What I should have done is I should have introduced I should have introduced Steve.
No, you always keep the best to last. You always keep the best to last.
It's spinning now, and that's the internet. Oh, it's gone off. The internet at the camp is rubbish, guys.
Yeah,
honestly.
it is. We'll get onto that.
I've mourned. I've complained. Everyone knows I want better internet at the camp.
Oh, he's back. Oh, he's back.
Yeah, no, you lost me for a couple of minutes. That's all right.
Go on, Steve. So Steve's on, veteran camp Bath steward down there at the moment. Steve, how's things going at the camp?
Yeah, good. We've had a good week, if you like, sort of on the veteran side of things. One in, one out. But you'll notice behind me, I haven't got the Veterans Camp Bath flag up today. That's because it's a blank wall, and what we want to try and do is get military memorabilia for the wall. So, you know, veterans, when they come down, we can put a plaque up, or we can put a we can put something up that's relevant. I tell you what, one of the guys kindly got me this, or the Camp Bath this, which I thought was wonderful. I don't know if you can read this, but it says,
yes, every family has a story. Welcome.
Yeah, and I thought that was really good, and thank you to the Gareth who bought that, and that take pride at place up here, because every family does have a story, and what's said in the bunkhouse, if you like, stays in the bunkhouse. But that was a wonderful thing from one of the lads. But I hope we'll get you know, plaques from, you know, my lads from 4-5 Commando are probably going to send me one. We're going to have pictures and everything else, so it decorates the room inside.
Good
so
idea.
That so that's great. I do have we did have one disaster. I know when Freedom Dad came down, we had a lot of stormy weather, and I actually lost one of our caravans. Actually lost the skylight. So this is actually here. So I've got a hole in the caravan, and I'm looking at stars at the moment. But this is a skylight from the caravan. So if everyone knows anything about getting new skylights or where we can get one from, you know, please do let me know. You can email veteranscampbath@gmail.com.
Just anybody that's in from my channel, quite a lot of you know how to get in touch with me. So if you want to pass on that information, I will pass it on to the guys at the camp.
Thank you, everyone. In the
okay,
chat.
so that was my. I mean, it's all sorted now. We've got a temporary cover on the caravan itself, but that was a bit of a shock to everyone at the camp. But that's just in passing. You know, somebody else might know someone else, you know, on caravans or repairs. So, you know, if you know someone, that's you know, that's fantastic.
Thank you. I just want to say hello to Ravinda and Jackie in the chat. Guys, we actually do well, I'm involved also with a trauma course, and it's, you know, it's not it's a good thing, and I've done the course 3 times. It's only cost of a book and some time online. Jackie and Ravinda are on that course at the moment, so I just want to give a big shout out to her. And if you watch me streams every other week on a Friday, we do talk about this course, but I just want to get that in. And thank you, everyone who's come in from Freedom Dad's channel. Thank you very much. And I love the chat when Freedom Dad is streaming. I love the chat. I mean, it's like a lot of you really like close and stuff like that. And I'm guessing
it is, John. It's a community, mate, and this is the good thing about YouTube. It is community orientated, you know.
And I love the chat, but thank you very much, everyone. Sorry, Steve, carry on. Come on.
Yeah, no, sorry. And I was just saying about the skylight, and also a big thank you to Freedom Dad, because we did actually, after your post to your community, we did actually get some money into a GoFund account, because what we're doing now is we're continuing to use the funds going into that GoFund account, and we're still renovating the outside and the the insulation, but that actually did kickstart the you know.
And we've already started. We're not even trying. Wait till we start.
Yeah,
you know,
no,
just because
I'd
it
like
was
to
just
think kind of slowly and surely. I mean, I haven't got
yes.
time to kind of, you know, I apologise. I won't list all the names of money we've had
No,
in,
of
but
course.
the odd £10 there and or
Yes, it all
£15
helps. But,
there, or I mean, even a fiver, you know, is
yeah.
just marvellous.
But in fairness, Stevie, just say, it's like just because it's Christmas, we just left January, everybody's skint. So when we get into the spring, we will be pushing the GoFundMe link, and I promise you, we will be getting money coming into your camp over from Belfast, 110%. You know.
Okay, that's wonderful, but that's our main aim, as I said, to do the roofing and do the and get the insulation up, you know, and hopefully we'll be able to you know, rock and roll by March. But by March.
There's a link. There's a link, guys. Anybody sees the link coming up there? Thank you.
I'll put it in the chat as well, guys. Thank you very much. And I've noticed there's some donations gone in. I'll always checking that. We do have there is a wish list, but just think about this: you're at a camp, toilets, showers, stuff like that, thermal gear, anything like that. You know, we're not thinking we'll take in stuff. You might have a tent free or something like that. Anything. We'll have a lot of stuff at the camp, but just think on like that. There is links. We'll put other links up, and we do have a wish list on my Amazon account on particular things at the camp. But I mean, a couple of things I am looking at. I want to get like a card reader, a tap and pin card reader for the camp, because obviously I know a lot of people want to use cash and that lot, but I don't. I'm happy to say that I don't always use cash, and I do use my card a lot on tap. So we want something like that for the camp. But then again, I want better internet at the camp, so it's an ongoing thing that we've got to work on. But thank you in the comments. Thank you very much. A lot of people I'm not seen before, but subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much. And it's just awesome to have Freedom Dad on. We watch his videos. It done the interview we done with Steve and Dion at the camp. We put them up a little bit the other week, and Steve like talked us through it as we were doing it. But great videos, and you know, like we all need to be activists if we want to change our country. If we want to do things better for other people, we need to learn. I want to be a local councillor, me, but I'll just tell you my story today. So I get a phone call yesterday, off a veteran who lives in my area, and he supported me since I ran in 2021. And his utility bill for his water, I'll tell you, was double the amount of the family that lived next door to him. So there's obviously a big issue there, and he's coming into retirement. So I did a message, made a phone call, and he's going to get personal visit next week off a utility specialist who will sort his bills out and get any money that is due back or anything like that. But it didn't phone me up in panic. He just knew that I was the right person to phone up. I came round within 15 minutes, got the phone call, got the initial thing sorted. So, you know, I just wanted to help him. And, of course, with PTSD camp, trauma and stuff like that, I want to learn about that. And I am learning through going to the camp, through interacting with other people. And them skills I can use within my community to support a veteran, to support a civilian with PTSD. So everything I do is positive to do with that camp, is helping me learn so I can better understand other people and support other people. And that's all I've done for 8 years. The videos are all over my YouTube, going back 8 years, and you'll see the kind of stuff I do. And, you know, my town has a big history with the armed forces. My family, I didn't serve, but my uncle was in the RAF, and he didn't see active combat. What his job was, he made weapons. He made weapons that they used, missiles and stuff like that. He was that kind of technician. And his two sons then went on to serve in Iraq. So a lot of people my age, and especially from Oldham, have links to the armed forces community within direct family members, if not they've been themselves. But yes, thank you, everybody in the chat. Steve, anything else?
Yeah, I think that's about all for the campus. As it's a good opportunity for us to get it, ship shape, ready for the summer, summer events. I was just looking at events in general. I think there is the great Tommy Sleep Out, which takes place in March. And that's done every year by the Army Benevolent Fund. So that's a good thing to get involved in. And we'll probably have one of our guys perhaps doing it, and say, if you want to come and place to sleep out together, then there's no better place than the camp.
Looks like we've got a donator for the card reader, Mark Molland. We'll talk about it separate, Mark, yeah. But thank you very much.
Yeah, good lad. He's a good lad. Well done, mate.
At the camp, but I've got to say, Mark does a lot for the camp, and he's doing a lot for our trauma course as well. He's donated some stuff towards that. So thank you very much, Mark. Thank you, mate. Thank you. God bless you.
I think just moving forward on events, we have got the Armed Forces Day, which is 26th, 27th of June. So we'll no doubt have an event there, which is always popular. And then of course we've got your conference, John. Can you just remind me about that? The date of that?
Yes, 23rd of August, or around that time. Let me just have a quick check what the Saturday is around that time.
Give yourself.
So it'll be the 22nd of August, and we're having our National Housing Party conference at the camp. Anyone's welcome to come. We have guest speakers and stuff like that. But yeah, and that'll be 22nd of August. But we get that out. I will mention it on the show again coming up. But we did our first one last year, and we thought it was a good success. We had a couple of cracking speakers, and one of them was a veteran as well. So yeah, it was great. So that'll be 22nd of August this year.
Okay, that's great. I mean, we have got some people who want to come. The Spitfire girls. Maybe we can join the two things up and have some show that if we've got an audience here. I'm sure your guys are all patriotic and everything else, and it might be good to throw in another event to combine the two.
Yeah, Balin, I've seen that. Just shouting out to any of my guys that are putting comments up or patriotic media, Alan. I see the chats. I do see you. Just I don't want to interrupt the guys. That's all.
I will.
We can reply to some questions and comments later after we've had a wee chat, John?
Yeah, of course. Just let me get that link up.
It's going to take us in the living room, guys, because of what I told you are doing up then. Come on, move.
Yeah, I've pinned the GoFundMe on my YouTube link, guys. Thank you very much. Like I said, it goes towards the camp being built. Let me see if I can get a couple of pictures up of the camp. Let me see. Go on, carry on talking, you two. Look, just give me a minute.
Okay. Well, yeah, as I say, so we're looking through, through an exciting summer. I'm just going to put my because someone's just given me a memo here. I'm just going to put my Marine head on for a moment because, as well as being, helping out at the camp here, I'm a member of the Royal Marines Association, and we had our oldest member die. Quite recently, an ex-Marine, and he was 105 years old. But what was very interesting was he actually he was captured in the war, and he went to a sort of a camp in Sumatra. Well, Sumatra is actually in Indonesia, and he spent 3 years sort of building roads and building bridges. And it wasn't until he went to the he was captured by the Japanese, and he wasn't released until the end of the war. I mean, I lived in Indonesia, and I wasn't aware of the of that camp. So you actually learn something every day. But I'll try and find out more about it because it's probably a bit of a forgotten. And it was a Royal Marine who was in the who was captured by the Japanese, and I don't think his family knew until he was actually until he was released in 1945. So that's an interesting story in itself, and I'm sure his funeral will take place soon, and I'm sure it will be well represented by Royal Marines serving and Royal Marines Royal Marines retired. But that's I think our oldest member, who's actually a member from Bristol. But we don't we always remember. So I'll try and find out a little more about it.
So obviously the camp's expanding, guys. Let me just show you this picture. So if you imagine...
that's the floor. So that's what we're going to. I think we might put down some. We're redoing the floor and insulating the side the side walls. So and actually straightening the whole place out. Yeah, you can see better there where we're going to insulate the, get new, do the flooring, and that's what the, the costs are going to.
So let me just interrupt. So the camp started. This what you're looking at now, we call it the clubhouse. Started off as 3 meter by 3 meter square box that like the horses just used to go in. And when we came to the camp, there's no electric there. We had to barbecue. We had to have battery powered lights. Now there's water running to this point now. There's drainage and all that lot. They're looking at getting a sink in, but the camp's expanded from that 3 by 3 cube. It's expanded like 12 cubes like that. So it goes. There's 3 cubes long in the bunkhouse itself, then 4 out. It's just so much more bigger than it used to be. And I do have pictures of it from the beginning till the end. So I'll just have to get off my ass and maybe get a little play thing going that I can play for a couple of minutes one time on the show. Show you a bit more of the development of the camp and that. But yeah, I helped dump down the stones that the concrete's laid on there, and I've done little bits of work when I've gone to the camp, whatever, painted something, put something on the wall, sorted something out. But like I said, it's a great place, guys. It really is, and we've got a lot of stuff there. Right, let me. Let me stop sharing. Thank you in the chat. Thank you. Like I said, it could use toilets. Maybe in the end, yeah, it would do. Yeah, so thank you in the chat, everyone. Thank you very much. So, Freedom Dad, when you're there, did you by any chance see any red kites, any birds of prey? Because there's a red kite flies over the camp a lot.
Yeah, I seen a couple of red kites when we were walking into the village. But I'll tell you what happened. It was like there was an owl, and apparently it wasn't seen for a while. But when I was there, it came back, and it was right next to where we were staying down at the bottom. And I think it was on the roof at some stages. You know what I mean? And it was quite amazing having an owl so close. You know, doing its thing, making its noises. And I think there was another one in the distance. We planned it. So yeah, there's a lot of wildlife, you know what I mean? There's a lot happening around it. Like I say, you know, I'm just so honoured to be there, mate. You know, my story with, as you know, in Northern Ireland, and you know, I'm not telling Steve anything, and not any other boys over there listening in the background. You know, the army were prevalent in Northern Ireland as me being a young boy, and you know, being a Protestant. You know, we had a good relationship with them, you know, even though, you know, the story is that it was actually Gerry Adams who wanted the British Army in the first place. But once the British Army were in, they started getting attacked by the other community, you know, and it's, you know, I'm not bringing anything up. It was just the way it was back in the day, you know what I mean? It is part of history, and, you know, I'm not trying to dig out anybody, but, you know, being a Protestant living in South Belfast on the Donegal Road, which was right next to the falls, there was a lot of activity from the army, and I used to collect the badges from all the different regiments, and I was really Norwell one time, and this is when my mum was alive, so it was before I was 8, and I don't know what was wrong. I don't know if there was a strike or something, but an army ambulance came and got me, and I can remember as a wee boy all the soldiers being in my house and taking me out to the ambulance, the green. I can remember seeing the green Land Rover with the red cross. And, you know, it's just something as a wee boy that sort of concreted my loyalty to the army and to the veterans, you know. So that's where I am. That's why I am the way I am. And, you know, I do wish I could do more, you know what I mean? You know, it is difficult in Northern Ireland. Like I say, not everybody has the same love and respect that I have. But, you know, I can say that at least my side of the community do understand what these guys went through, and, you know, how difficult it was, you know what I mean? You know, I'm not going to talk about atrocities or anything like that. Well, you know, we all know what happened in Northern Ireland, but it was a difficult conflict, for want of a better word, for the soldiers. It wasn't what they were used to. And I think they were thrown in the deep end, you know what I mean? And yeah, Mark goes out. Like I'm saying, my foster dad, he was in the UDR. So again, I had a lot of experience with the UDR guys coming and going, and having to move house because of threats. And it was a really good experience. It was exciting as a young man, a young boy growing up in Belfast, having the army, you know, and there was a shootout on the street and bombs going off and the bomb squad being about. And, you know, back then a controlled explosion was just shooting at a car. You know, back in the early 70s, a controlled explosion was shooting at a car until it blew up. So yeah, it was an experience for most young men, guys my age, Generation X, and yeah, we have nothing but respect for these guys.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Just let me interrupt. Sorry, Freedom.
No problem, mate. No problem.
Cranky, bear with me. We'll get you in a minute, but you're looking good there, fella. You're looking good. I just want to give a big shout out to Caroline and Davey, who are in the chat from Scotland. Really good, pair of good friends of mine. They're due to come to the camp soon, Davey and Caroline. You know that, and I've said you've got to come to the camp. But thank you for joining the chat. Thank you very much, guys. And we've got Craig in as well. Craig Burns is in. He served in Ireland in Armour in 1991. Craig, they're another great supporter of the camp. Thank you very much, mate. Yes, John Rankin, local homes for local people. 100%, mate.
Well said, John.
100%.
I'm trying to get the leads.
Excuse me.
Right, Steve, over to you. Let's get cranky up.
Yeah, hi guys. As I said, we're doing well now with moving the camp forward, but it can only be done by a team. So what I thought is very quickly when we have these shows, it's just so the rest of the public and the supporters can see our wonderful camp ambassadors. So I thought for this week. I'll just introduce you to one of our senior ambassadors, and this is Gordon Clinky.
Gordon.
Hello, pal.
Yes, mate.
Yeah, there's
yes,
a bit
mate.
of a delay. You have to think you're in America.
His cat,
what?
I've got to say, his cat looks swaz. I tell you, I like that cat, and I've seen photographs of him with it before. But yes, how are you, Gordon?
I'm brilliant, John. How's yourself, mate?
All right, thank you, fella. All right.
So, guys, this is Gordon Cranky. I hope there's still not a delay. And he's one of our, as I say, one of our senior supporters. And he's going to be fundraising. So if you see him in Southampton or anywhere like that, and when he's got his hat on, that means you give him a donation. But he's a wonderful guy. He's been supporting the camp for years. And I hope you've got over your cold.
Oh, I have. I gave it to you. I gave it to you last week, mate.
Yeah, I just tell you, he did come to the camp last week, and he did say he was going to come down and do some fundraising, and then he ended up with a cold, and then we watched the entire box set of Spartacus, and but we did go fundraising one day, but it was a great week. It was a great week, and as I say, Cranky's one of our ambassadors.
I mean, it was only £23.65 we made donations, but that was in under an hour. That was under 1 hour, and it was pouring a rain. There was hardly any people about, but they seen this cap and they just targeted me.
Okay, well, I think the bottom line here is if you want to get ahead, get a hat.
You need to get one as well, mate.
100%.
Okay, well, the job of the camp ambassadors is really, hopefully, we'll get an update, perhaps monthly or every couple of months, and we've got different ambassadors in different areas. So it's really, just so all the supporters, can learn and see our camp ambassadors. Well, would you just like to say, Cranky? Am I right in thinking there's a Gordon and Southern Highlanders? Is it a reunion or something? I remember you telling me.
It's a Scottish reunion. It's for all the Scottish regiments, Scottish Highlanders, Black Watch, all the rest of them. But it's a gathering in Edinburgh, up Edinburgh Castle, and I think it's the 29th of March. And all you need is a cap and a cap badge, and it's civilian clothes. And it's just, you've just got to muster up at Edinburgh Castle on the 29th. I think it's 10:30 in the morning. But it's free for veterans, you know what I mean? You'll be marching right through Edinburgh with the rest of us.
That'll be
It'll be a good crack. I'll put
that out. I'll get that out of my channel.
Going up, maybe doing some filming. I'd love that. I absolutely love that.
Well, get in touch, John.
I certainly will, Gordon. I certainly will.
I went up in November for Remembrance, and I went up to Stirling Castle, and then I marched from Stirling Castle right down with the veterans to the cenotaph. But it was pouring the rain. I had my brogues on. I was sliding down the cobbles. But next time I'm coming to Bath on Sunday just to drop off a couple of quails for Dion. But I'll be back at camp officially within a couple of weeks once the weather comes up, and we'll go out. Because I've already said to Joe to get new collection tins and stuff like that. And we'll go out for a few days or for a few hours, actually in Bath Town Centre, and see how much Cranky can raise with his kilt and everything on. But I'll put the full kilt on, the full outfit.
Okay. Well, look, We'll look forward to that, Cranky. We'll let you get on, and your metal detectors here is still safe and sound at the camp. We haven't found anything, but it's still safe and sound in the.
Next time you come up, you got to bring that telescope. I'm sure you've got a
telescope. I completely forgot about that.
I'm sure you've got a telescope. I've got to sort them flat earthers out, and I need a telescope at the camp. Sorry, I've just got to sort lots of people out, and a telescope will be the ultimate means.
You don't think the Earth is round, do you, John?
It's an oblate spheroid.
If you're going to use a metal detector at camp, go behind Dion's house just at the gate, because I was getting lots and lots of targets just at that bit of gate where the new bricks are coming through.
Listen to this. So I know my history, and in that area there was a battle called the Battle of Monmouth.
Yeah, and the pitchfork battles.
The pitchfork
battles. And Joe Drayson, she's listening. She always tells me the story that she's sure that, like, at the bottom of the camp is one of the areas, or the area at the back of the mountains and the back of the camp is the area where the battle was. So honestly, if you've got a metal detector and you're after finding ancient stuff, get up to Bath and get to that camp.
Well, there's did you know there's two natural springs on the camp? There's one up at the top left-hand corner, but there's also one down the bottom of the hill.
That's right,
That's where they would have came to collect their water and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's a good place to hunt.
I mean, I've had some interesting times going to Bath. So obviously I'm a political person and I like to go to meetings and hustings. So in the last general election, I went to the major MP hustings. They had him through to speak for veterans and to speak for the camp. And we ended up sort of like not putting pressure on, but we was very vocal, me and the other lad who went with me, about supporting veterans. And someone come up to me and said, "You're not from around here," but I'd already talked to Joe and Dion that I was going to represent the camp. So, that was my ticket. But yeah, we do what we can to support veterans and that in Bath. But we've had some good times around the camp over the few years. I've got to say, there has been some downers. I've got to say, there has been some downers, but it's mainly on an uphill track, the camp. It really is.
There's definitely more positive comes from going to the camp than negative, that's for sure.
Yeah, you're right there. We always say it. If you want to know what the camp's about, come down to it. Come and visit us, and you'll see. And we've had many visitors of all kinds of persuasions. Obviously, I'm political, and we had some reform political members come to that camp who I know personally and stuff like that. We've had other people come to support the camp, activists and that, come down to see how it is. And, with Freedom Dad's been in that bracket. He's come down and he's seen what the camp's all about. It's not too busy. They haven't got any big things going on, but he's seen the camp and felt the camp. And if you would have listened to him talking on his streams about the camp, you would have felt that through Freedom Dad. You really would have done. Yeah. Because I did.
Oh, nice meeting you, by the way, Freedom Dad.
Thank you.
I've heard all about you. Never actually met you or that, but
well, I'm sure
I'll meet you sometime.
Yes, we'll definitely fix that. So we will, mate. It's really nice meeting you too, and thanks for your service. Thank you so much, mate.
Right, listen, Mark Molland, get ready. You're coming up.
Give me 2 seconds, guys. I'm just 2 minutes and 2 seconds.
No worries.
Do you want me to go off and out so Mark can come on?
Yes, please. That's all right.
Yeah, not a problem. I'll speak to you all later. You have a good evening. I'll be watching anyway.
All right. Thank you, Cranky.
Thanks for coming on.
Where's Mark? Mark Holland, come on.
I'm hoping to get on next week one of our women ambassadors, so that will be good. She's an RAF She's an RAF lady, so it'd be nice to get her on the show, so people know, it's a team, it's a team effort here.
Right, let's get Mark up. Mark Molland. Oh, he sent me a thing about the. Oh, it's a sum up one. Right, yeah, I'll look at it. We'll look at that, Mark. We'll look at that.
It's on the front of theirs. I told him exactly where it is.
Oh, thank you, Cranky. Thank you very much, mate. Thank you, and we'll sort something out. And obviously, we're going to be regular streaming, so we'll sort something out. But Edinburgh sounds good. I'm interested. I am very interested. Let's see if we can get Mark up. Come on, Mark Molland. Come on, Mark. He said you'd come up, and I've sent you a link. Is he in now? Yes, there he is. Right. You ready, Mark? Have we got a beautiful face to look at, or are you just gonna go blank screen?
Hello, John.
Oh, thank
Nice
you,
to meet
Mark. Just let
Hiya,
me.
Mark. How you doing, mate? Thanks for coming in.
Too bad, mate.
And I've got to say, Mark's one of the best supporters, all-round supporters we've got. He supports us a lot on our Crossroads to Wheeling group, and he's always supported the camp for as many years as I have, for about 8 years. So you're all right, Mark?
Yeah, I'm fine, John. How are you?
Good, mate. Good. How's
Hello,
Portia?
All right, mate.
Yeah, it's fine, mate. It's fine.
Good. So what you've sent me there, is that the sum up card reader?
Yeah. That's the one I could find.
Right. I'll get that on the Amazon wish list, that actually. So bear with me.
I'll donate it, John. Yeah, I'll order it for you. Where do you want it sent? To you or the camp?
The camp.
All right, I'll send it to the camp.
Right, no worries. So what are you up to, Mark?
Usual stuff, being political and trying to get things shut down.
Mark's supporting us with our Crossroads to Wheeling group, guys. If you watch my streams regular, they are on there, and it's a trauma course that we're running, and there's veterans involved, civilians. We've had Jacket and Rav in the chat tonight who are on the course at the moment. We've also had Nick Wilson in the chat who's been on the course, and it's about learning how to be a better person, especially with those with trauma and stuff like that. I mean, Mark's followed me long enough to see that I want to learn these things. I don't claim I've got any particular kind of trauma. I'm not a veteran. But I have family and I have friends who are. And I just want to do the best to what I can do to support people. And the best way is learning. And we can learn through the course. But let's get Freedom Dad on for a bit anyway. Come on, Freedom Dad.
Drinking his hot chocolate or something.
Yeah, no, all good. I'm just at the chat. No, I've managed to work out how to get the chat up. So I've got the screen up and the chat up. And yeah, good. Listen, Mark, thanks for coming on my live tonight and being a subscriber. It's actually amazing. It is a great wee community. You can see some of the guys, Foxy Lad, Ragnar, Galloway, absolutely amazing guys. You know what I mean? And like I say, our channels are nothing without our supporters, our subscribers, and our community. So, and I'm just glad my guys are getting behind you guys, and everybody's on the same page.
Yeah. Sorry, let me just interrupt. And you're quite welcome, any of Freedom Dad supporters. If you're in the UK, if you want to pass by the camp, get to the camp so you can have a look at it, take some pictures, go and talk to Joe, Dion and Steve at the camp. Everyone's welcome. We impress this a lot on people, but like sometimes we'll get negative back from people who haven't been to the camp. So I just don't go down that route. What I say is get to the camp. Mark's heard me say that. Steve's heard me say that. Everyone in that chat who knows me, that's what I said. Get to the camp. So you're more than welcome, any of you, to pass by the camp.
John Nobby was in the chat earlier.
Oh, I didn't see his comment.
Good evening,
Nobby, another good supporter of the camp. And I mean, Nobby has his own issues and stuff like that, and he's a veteran, but he's a great activist, and I'm so glad that I got to know Nobby on a personal level. I've been supportive of him, and he's been supportive of me. So please, let's get a comment in the chat, Nobby, if you're listening. I'm going to message him on.
Send him a link. See if he'll join us.
I'm gonna.
Thank you, Helen. Can I just say as well, guys, that everybody in the chat, if you can, I know not everybody's a veteran in the chat, but I'm quite sure you might know somebody or somebody's in your family, and it's be sure to pass on about the Bath PTS camp to anybody anybody in your community, even that is an ex-veteran that could do with this kind of thing. Get in touch with me. Even like if you get email any of us, you know how to get my emails or in my links. The links always there. freedomdad@gmail.com. Simple enough. It's freedomdad73@gmail.com. Or put a comment down on Messenger, or if you're on my WhatsApp, send me a message and I'll get a number for you, and you can just get that whoever it is that you see may do benefit this camp, pass on the number, and or even get his number, and we'll phone him up, or her up, because there's both genders and that are veterans. So yeah, that's just something I want to bring the attention. It's you can, just because you aren't veterans, guys, we all know veterans, and you could be helping somebody out, as we know veterans are suffering in our country. The state of the place we're spending all our money on invaders fighting these men are coming from Islamic countries, because the excuse the government uses is because we've went to war with these countries, and it's just an excuse, as you know, we are being replaced. But as that's happening, the veterans are being forgot about. So it's down to us. It's down to the men and women, the patriots of England, Wales, Scotland, and Northern Ireland, to do the work that the government are failing. So we're going to take the place of the government, and we're going to do the work now and support our veterans in every way we can, and everybody can play a part. Like I say, guys, you can stick a fiver into the. I know we're going through the highest cost of living right now. I know everybody's struggling, but if you can, even put a fiver into the GoFundMe, and pass it around. Put it up in your local pub. Tell your friends about it. Every little bit helps, and if everybody does a little bit, it'll be a massive big bit for the camp.
Well, Freedom Dad, can I add that if people can't donate cash, if they know anybody with building companies that can donate materials?
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yes.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be put to very good use at the camp.
100%. That's always. I have been thinking about that as well. It is an avenue we can look down. Going around and speaking to building merchants, and the problem that I've been thinking about is getting it from here to there. But maybe that's something we can look at locally, around Bristol, Bath, places like that. And if you don't ask, you're not going to get. And if we get a wee bit from each, and you might hit lucky. You might hit a builder's merchant that is a veteran and thinks, well, I've got this and that, because it doesn't have to be perfect. It can be odd ends, it can be bits of plywood and offcuts and stuff like that. Every bit would help. You're bang on, that's a good idea. And this is what this is about as well. It's about talking about it and coming up with ideas and brainstorming, and get you guys in the chat if any ideas you have got, throw it down. And that's what these kind of YouTube StreamYards are all about, is brainstorming to find out a way of going forward and building things like this, and maybe helping Joe on that get another one going, so maybe we have one at the top of England and one at the bottom of England, that would be perfect. I think we should set our sights big, and I do believe that Joe and Dion, what they've done here there's no stopping them. There's no stopping them. They just need the support from us.
No, I think Nobby's had a couple of operations. Was it his leg or something?
Neck.
Yeah, that's right. John Rankin's in the chat. John knows Nobby personally. He spent some time in Dover, but yeah, his neck, John, he's had some trouble with that, so he's had a couple of operations on it. That's what I know, and he said that himself a couple of times. But yeah, thank you in the chat, everyone. Really, thank you very much. It's very active tonight. Thank you, Caroline and David, for chatting. And I thought you might have a real name, not number 55, them WWTC. That's hard work. That's hard work. But thank you. Jackie's in the chat. Jackie's going to come to camp eventually as well. She wants to come to camp as our Jackie, another great supporter of mine. But thank you very much, guys. You know, like I said, I can actively tell you about that camp. I've had my own stuff to deal with over the past few years, but that camp has helped me out. And we talked about the camp regular on streams for nearly 3 years and the trauma courses and what we need to do. I was fortunate to meet Alfie. And that's at the memorial in Bath with Dion. Dion is the little Alfie. Captain Adrian, he's a local, one of Dion's best mates, great guy. Alfie passed away, but Adrian did the speech for Alfie's funeral. And when I asked him, I said I wanted the speech. So I've got that speech that he wrote for Alfie's funeral. And of course, there's Alfie. And I was so fortunate to have met him. I came down and George just said to me, you know where you're going tomorrow? And I went, what, to meet Alfie? And she said, yeah. And me and Dion had like 5 hours with him and his family. And it was great. Honestly, it was good interacting with him. And I've got some exclusive videos that no one's ever seen of Alfie talking. And I will get them up. They're precious to me. And I have put a couple up already, but I will get them up. That I recorded with Alfie. Not news or anything, me. And I'm just so honoured to have met all these lads several times. I'm a regular up there now. They all know who I am. I'll be standing around with my camera. I like to get a picture of them at the end of the memorial. But great set of lads, honestly. And I'm happy to do anything on social media to support veterans. I don't ask for any kind of payment. Anything that comes goes to that camp. That's what we do. If you've got skills, we can arrange. If we're going to build a new bunkhouse, we can arrange for people to stay at the camp. We already got a couple of guys out of my party who have got them skills and going to come to the camp when we have to build something. So it's brilliant. It's brilliant.
John, it's marvellous to see so much interaction and you answering the messages, because that's what it's all about. I've just got one. Cranky's just asked me just to pass on to you about that Gordon Highlanders association. So I'll WhatsApp it. I'll WhatsApp it to you. But just to remind, he wanted everyone to note that it's a gathering on the 29th of March. But as I say, it's great. I think this is the best show I've had where people have been interacting and we've been able to read out people's comments and everything else, which is marvelous. So people have any ideas or whatever, just send them to us. I'll let you carry on, John, and I'll WhatsApp you about the Scottish gathering.
Yeah. So Freedom Dad, tell me about so whereabouts do you live in Northern Ireland? Whereabouts do you live? Which area?
Yes, mate. I don't really give out too much information. So
no worries.
But yes, I live in Northern Ireland,
right.
Mainly based in Belfast and the surrounding areas. And Yeah, it's things are changing over here. You know, there's the movement's getting quite big. You know, John Rankin, like I say, he's getting a bit of love in the comments, sir. So I just want to give John Rankin a special shout out because he's been over to Belfast a few times now, and he's supporting everything that we're doing, and he's an absolutely
Oh,
amazing patriot.
brilliant!
We went to London together for the last Tommy demo, and yeah, he's here, there, and he's everywhere, and he's involved in a lot of things, and he's just a wee dude. He's just a wee dude, and, you know, and he's just an amazing young man. And yeah, I just want to say a special thank you to John for everything he's done over here and everything he does for all the other channels that he's involved with in the Patriot world. Amazing guy, you know.
I've got to say that John Rankin supported everyone, Active Patriot, Nobby, myself, you, a really good all-round, brilliant Patriot. And he's been a long-time subscriber of mine, but excellent. And, you know, I'm honoured that I've met him. So, you know what I mean? It's it's good stuff. So, I mean, what in the 90s, in the late 90s, we went to Southern Night. We went to Newry, and it was a friend of ours' mum's funeral. So we went to Newry, spent a couple of days around the area. We went down into South Island, further into Southern Ireland, over the border, with this lad Austin Matt Walter, to see his family down there. And so we spent like 3 days, and then lately, when I've been the past few years, it's such a drastic change.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. Yeah, Newry is becoming, it is being highlighted as a sanctuary city for immigration, and a lot is you know, it's a difficult situation in Newry because it is predominantly a Catholic area. You know, and this is why they've targeted, because obviously the Sinn Féin support. They support Palestine, Hamas, and basically because of that, they're sort of backs up against the wall as far as immigration goes, especially with Islam. So Nuri is a bit of a problem. You know, there is guys trying to kick back, but because of, to be honest, with the dissidents in some of these areas, not a lot of the Catholics who do support us can really speak out. It's just difficult, you know. So yes, Nuri has changed, but probably from everything's changing, like Ballymena. It's quite a lot of our loyalist areas that's seen the troubles, most of the troubles, the most, like where I'm from, Sandy Road, the village, the Shankill, you know, Portadown, Londonderry. There's prominent, it seems to be where the areas, where the communities come together, where they've been flashpoints in the 90s and the 80s. People have sort of, the house prices were quite low. So a lot of people were moving out, and what's happened is a lot of landlords went in and bought these houses at a very low price back in the day. So now they're becoming HMOs, multiple houses of occupants, and we're finding that these particular areas that are predominantly high-profile loyalist areas are now being filled with foreigners, you know what I mean? And yeah, that's a problem for us, and it's something that we're trying to address, because like I say, it's like a tap that gets turned on, you know, if unless you pull the plug, it's just going to overflow. And we see Leicester, Luton, Rotherham, you know, London, Birmingham, and we don't want that here. You know, the majority of people who are awake don't want that here. We want Belfast to stay like Belfast. We want what we've had in the past to continue into the future. And that's what we do. At the minute, what we're trying to do is let people know this is how it's going to go. Because obviously, with empathy and the government talking about Islam being the religion of peace, it's a sort of way in where the people that aren't aware of really what the future can hold. We're trying to bring that awareness, saying, yeah, it's okay being kind and empathy and offering these people in, but there's got to be a stop off. There's got to be a limit. There has to be a time when you say, no, that's enough, because even though it's not a big problem right at this minute, as we go forward and more come in, then eventually you will get it. You will get Birmingham, where English people are in a minority, and we just don't want that here, mate. You know.
Yeah. You know. I get it. I really do. Also, what do you know of the British troops who are going to be sent back to court? You know, in Northern Ireland for the troubles in Northern Ireland, because they're looking at now bringing charges against people who are nearly like old people, against stuff that happened in Northern Ireland, you know, so it's a bit mad. But let me tell you about my experience. My first live stream in Northern Ireland was on the Shankill Road, and it was the Shankill Road boys who were leading the march that particular summer. And I've got it on me. It's on my YouTube, and you know, my adrenaline were up. I just so enjoyed it. The second time I went, I wore my Union Jack suit with that and tie and all that lot. And now, honestly, the amount of love I got off the boys in all the troops and the people around was so nice. And then I spent on the Sandy Row area. That's where I spent my second time there, around there, chatting with people. And I was there suited up, and people were just dead nice. And you know, everyone was coming up to me, thanking me, shaking me hand and all that lot. Everyone wanted pictures, you know, and stuff like that. And I don't miss it over here because we are patriotic in England, but it was just so more patriotic being over in Ireland and feeling that vibe, you know what I mean? But I've been over now, and every time I've been over, I've filmed. The next time I'm going over, I'm not filming. I'm just going to enjoy myself.
Yeah, relax.
I'm going to leave my phone, have a few drinks, just talk to people, sit down, eat food, and just enjoy myself. Wave a flag at the side of the procession or whatever, and that's what I'm going to do when I go over again. But I have enjoyed my time, and I've been so honoured as well that we got invited to a wedding in the Shankill area. Jolene Bunting. I don't know if you know her, Freedom Dad, but they invited me to the wedding, and my wedding gift for them was a Rover's Return teapot that used to be my mum's.
Oh, nice one.
You know what I mean? That was my gift for their wedding, you know, and it was precious to me, but that's what I wanted to give to them. But you know, and we went round taking photographs of a lot of the drawings and all that, the murals you have around, and we came to this bonfire, and it was near the docks because you could see at the bottom of the hill, you could see the Titanic.
Yeah, it would be D Street. That'll be if you're close to the docks. East Belfast. Yeah.
We filmed the bonfire a little bit, and some people come over. They didn't want the kids on film. Yeah, fair enough. Then we just started talking to them, and you know, that was such a nice community. That community was so nice. Like what we brought out of it was like, you know, like they have a lot of people coming over from Scotland, and that particular year, the woman said they've got about 60 people from Scotland staying in that community's houses here and there. There's a spare room here. There's a spare room there. These are all marchers, and there's a spare room there. And that's what I accommodating they were with other people, you know, and stuff like that. And it was really good to see that kind of strength in a community, Freedom Dad. You know what I mean?
It is a community. But just to touch on what you said about soldiers being persecuted, you know, what's really going on, as far as I can see, is like we've got Sinn Féin who have seemed to got control right now, and you know, they are causing lots of problems for the community because we are at a situation, as you know, I was down in Dublin speaking outside the post office as an ex-lawless prisoner, and it was to me like I believe it's an historic moment that I was accepted down there amongst all the tricolours, and I've been down a few times, and I'm getting a lot of love from the Catholic community, and you know, Sinn Féin can see there's a shift going on in Northern Ireland, and they see that they're losing the support of their own community. And what's been going on recently is they've took the Union flag down, they raised the Palestinian flag, you know, they're bringing in the Irish Sign Language, and you know, the Good Friday Agreement protects a lot of people who were involved in the Troubles, who are guilty of a lot of crimes. So the terrorists, you know, we've got to call it what it is on both sides. Are protected from prosecution. So you know, it should be the same. What soldier went through, and I know it's a very touchy subject, even from my community. It is very touchy subject, but it's got to be a fair playing field. This is what I'm saying. You know, a lot of people say, well, if there was stuff happened, then they should be brought to justice. But it works both ways, you know what I mean? And it's not happening both ways. But what Sinn Féin are doing right now is trying to create this topic, what we're talking about, to create a debate where people are turning against each other because we don't agree on everything. And this is the problem. We are agreeing on mass immigration, and Sinn Féin are terrified of that. That Protestants and Catholics are coming together on a common goal. So they're creating things to divide us right now. And this is what we've got to look out for. This is what I try to warn the both communities that watch out for this kind of thing. You know, let's not get up on it. You know, Northern Ireland went through a conflict. You know, there was good, there was bad, and there was ugly, right? And that's the way it is. And it's time to leave it in the past. You know, we have to draw a line somewhere along, somewhere. We can't keep going forward. What I keep saying is we cannot go forward if we keep looking backwards. You know, it doesn't work. No matter what situation you're in life, you've got to look forward. You've got to look at new ideas, new goals, and new ambitions. And looking back the way and bringing up the past is just going to hold us all back. And this is what Sinn Féin want. They want us all. They want us to concentrate on stuff that isn't going to get us anywhere, while they destroy our country. And that's the point I want to make. And the word is getting out, and people are starting to understand that. And to be honest with you, you mightn't think this, but you know, the Catholic community isn't. A lot of people like Catholics, Republicans. I tell people we've got to change all that. Like in England, there's no such thing, Protestants and Catholics and all that nonsense, you know. And it's starting to be like that here, you know. And Sinn Féin are terrified of that. They know that once the Protestants and Catholics come together, we are going to be so strong. And every political party is probably frightened of it, you know, because divided, we've been easier to control. You know, we've got the Ulster Unionists, we've got the DUP, we've got the TUV, you've got the Alliance Party, you've got the SDLP, you've got Sinn Féin. You know, that's a lot of parties for a little country with just over 1 million people in it. So you understand, it's very easy to control for the establishment, and we're starting to waken up, mate. You know, we are.
Honestly, sorry guys, I'm just gonna leap in here because if I don't lock the chickens away, my name will be mud. So,
we'll hold the fort. We'll hold the fort, mate.
In the chicken coop, you guys are in the soup.
Right. Oh, we're in the chicken soup. You know what I mean?
No, I thought that was a great show, and I just want to emphasise because I'm a Northern Ireland veteran myself, and I think the bottom line is you've got to look forward and not backwards. So it was very interesting listening to Freedom Dad and you know, veterans and that. You know, we sit back, we take orders, we do as we told, but we're all of the same opinion now. You know, you've got to look forwards and not backwards. And I've got the kettle boiling now for my hot chocolate, and I think the guys are going to say, when's Steve-O going to put the television back on, because he promised 10 o'clock. So I better go. I'm going to sign off now, guys, but I thought that was it was nice to have an interactive show.
Well, Stevie, give my regards to the boys. Tell the boys, I'm not, obviously we don't want to throw any names out because I know they are very secretive men, and just tell them I really do. I love the time with them, and thank you so much, mate. I really do miss you, and I am so busy right now, and I would love to come over tomorrow, but February I'm not able to do nothing right now, but I will be over as soon as I get a chance. I will be back over, and I haven't forgot about you, I promise.
No,
Steve, I'll see you in March.
Okay, nice one, mate.
Yeah, we can find me.
I'll be down. You know, like obviously we can bring up the past forever, but we've got to look forward to the future. And I'm like that. I don't want to keep blaming people in the past and all. We need to get over that. And generally, the British are great at getting over that. But obviously, there's pressures on us that are thingy. But you know, look forward. Let's not look backwards. Let's remember what happened in the past, so we're not doomed to repeat mistakes that we make in the future. That is like a saying from God knows when. But thank you. It's been a great show, guys. Really active chat. And Nobby's in the chat. Oh, top man Nobby. Top man, you get well soon, mate. We'll have we'll be chatting soon, or we'll be meeting up. But honestly, thank you guys. A lot of love in that chat tonight, and I've liked it. And I've tried keeping up with the comments and that. Everyone's been great. Thank you very much, guys. Only thank you. And thank you to Freedom Dad. Thank you to Mark.
Cheers,
thank
mate.
you to Steve. Thank you to Cranky. Thank you to
just
everybody.
Just before we go, just want to shout out to the guys that I will be live tomorrow at 2:30 on YouTube at the Chimney Corner Hotel, which is a migrant hotel, and I'll be covering it as a citizen journalist. You know, so it's a regular thing. Most guys knows about it, but anybody that's in from anybody that's in from your chat, John, or your channel, you can jump on.
I'll be live myself tomorrow at
right.
an hotel near me.
Well, listen, I don't want to take any of your subscribers away. So we're staying our lanes.
I'll make sure I can. If I'm not live, I'll make sure I'm watching yours. But we've got issues, antisocial behaviour and stuff around.
Well, here's an idea. How about sometime if you're doing any lives, if we do have a live where you're doing, there's a demo in England and we've got a demo in Norwell, we could link up like this. So
yeah, we could,
you know, that would be a good idea. So both communities can watch. You know, I don't on your channel. I've got no problem with that. Like, you know, that's like I say, my channel. I'm not into growing and all that. I'm happy with my channel the way it is. But I would be quite happy to come on a live on your channel, and you know, so your guys can
100%.
have a look.
We'll sort something out like that.
All right, brilliant, mate. That's a great idea. Thank you.
Because of a lot. Go on.
No, I was going to say even Steve will be live tomorrow. I think it's Frome Town against Bristol Parkway. I know you like football. That's the nearest I'll get to live. But last word from Steve. I know John always likes me to have the last word, but Veterans Camp Bath, always by your side.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you so much, Steve.
Very much, guys. Thank you very much. Mark, thank you.
Yes, Mark, cheers, mate.
That's all right, mate. I'll see you in March.
You certainly will.
Nice one. Bring the chocolate biscuits.
Thank you very much. And really, thank you to the chat. It's good to be seeing John Rankin chatting.
Yeah, good lads. Seco number 55. All good lads are like, you know me.
Nobby.
Galloway Raider. Great lad.
Jackie, Ravinda, Nick, everyone, Craig Burns,
Marty Greenburn, how you doing? Good to see you, mate. Yeah,
all the new ones. What I'll do, if you've subscribed, guys, I'll check you out. I'll check my subscriber list and I'll probably follow some of you, so watch out for it. But thank you very much. God bless all, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Cheers, guys. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.